So, would you say that you are educated or are you a lifelong learner?
I think both. I think educated comes from what I learned already. And I think a lifelong learner is being present for now and the future. Bang! Oh, that was a good job. I surprised myself. But no, being educated to me is past tense. So I am educated. I do know a lot about, I do know a little bit about a lot. I'm very well versed on a lot of different things. So yeah, but I always want to learn. I'm talking to anybody. I walk, hey, how you doing? What you doing? Oh, okay. Wow, that's cool. And I'll start asking questions and I'll become inquisitive on those things. I was just walking my dog at a dog park and start talking to this guy for 2 hours about dogs. And I learned so much. So it's just like being open to hear. So I'm always learning, using my ears to listen. But I'm
Cool.
very argumentative though.
I am. I like your personality. It seems very similar to mine. I was a. I'll say I was always smart, or what they would consider to. No, I was always smart because there's an issue with smart people
Okay.
versus hardworking people. There's a difference.
Okay.
I was just naturally smart, so I didn't have to study. Whereas the kids who had to study, they made straight A's.
Mm-hmm.
I did nothing, and I got a B, a A sometimes.
Right. Okay.
So could you imagine what you could have actually done had you actually applied yourself? So that's why I say there's a difference between being smart and being hardworking.
Right.
Because I've never had an issue with being smart. I catch on to just about anything. But I did not work as hard as other people because I didn't necessarily have to. It's kind of like the LeBron, Kobe.
Allen Iverson thing.
Yeah, you just
Or gifted, just yeah.
you're just naturally good at something. But if you actually apply yourself and took from the people who actually worked hard, you'd be great.
Right. So to talk about personalities real fast, if you haven't, you should take it as a test called 16personalities.com. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
No.
You answer questions, probably take about 15 minutes, and it just tell you your personality. So my personality is I'm a debater, right? It's say my strengths are I'm knowledgeable, I'm a quick thinker, I'm original, I'm an excellent brainstormer, I'm charismatic, and I'm energetic. My weaknesses are I'm very argumentative, insensitive, intolerant, can find it difficult to focus, and I dislike practical matters. I think that fits me to the T. That's just who I am. I think a lot of the things that I do is just based on gift. Like I like so many times in interviews, I think that that's the thing where people send you questions over so you can study them and get acclimated with them. And I never had to do all those things. I'm a quick thinker. Um, but I think I'm wise, man. I was listening to, man, as a kid, I was listening to Temptations and all of the old stuff. And I just think that translated into my life. I'm an old soul. And me being so young, I have conversations with people that are older than me that really listen to my advice, and I take heed to that and say that I'm here for a reason, and that's an addition to my purpose.
Yeah. Okay. So do you feel like you yielded to your purpose, or did your purpose yield to you? Did it reveal itself to you, or did you just pay attention and kind of just know what it was?
I just got to the point, or maybe a couple of years ago, where I knew it. I think that it's always been there, and I didn't recognize it. But being humble and looking at things like I just was living in my purpose. Like I just was doing it. It was never really a thing that I tried to do or um, anything. But now I realize, like, yo, with this gift and with these gifts, you have a responsibility to people and to yourself to, you know, do the right thing and be helpful. And it's very hard being a person in my position because it's hard for me to not put myself in your shoes when I hear when I hear information from you, or just to go through what you go through. Like I'm putting myself in your shoes and I'm caring about you and I'm helping you as best way I can. And I believe that people can change, and I also believe that people can change, but I also believe that how do I say this? People can change when they have new information. Uh,
Mm.
So it's kind of like my job to give the new information to help a person change who may be stubborn, because it's like you can think the way you can think. I mean, I speaking on that, like I was Christian my whole life. Um, just what I was, what my parents told me I was, what I celebrated, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all of that stuff. And 3 years ago, I took an opportunity to take my Shahada and become Muslim. And I never thought that I would be ever in life. But when I got this new information and I started to be able to add and subtract things to myself and what fit me on learning what I was taught and learning myself, I was open to make that decision. So I think that's what life is about. And that's one of the best things I've ever done in my life.
I like that. I like that. Okay. So I've saw the one book that you've published, but I've heard you mention another. So how many books have you published?
Two. Two
Two?
right now. I'm working on my third right now.
What's the other one titled?
It's called Music in the Empty Mansion.
Okay. Oh, that's
Yeah.
the one that's in your
My avatar profile.
Abby. Okay. What
Yeah.
is this one about?
Well, this one is a very I'm sorry, I'll be drawing a blank sometime. A very multifaceted book. It's about life, it's about relationships, it's about parenting, it's about friendship, it's about honesty, it's about lying, it's about impact. It's about so many different things. So one of my favorite authors is Ryan Holiday, and he's like literally one of my favorite. And he has this book called The Daily Stoic, where you read an excerpt every day. It's not long; it's like one page, and you read it. And I usually used to read it sitting on the toilet because that was my 15 minutes in the morning to process anything that I wanted to process. So I would read it in the morning, and it would have me thinking throughout the course of the day. And it just seemed like every time I would read one, something that day would fit that. That's why I used to believe that horoscopes. Even though I don't believe in them now, but I used to believe in them. I would read my horoscope at the end of the day versus reading it in the morning, because I feel like when you read it in the morning, you manifest that one into today. So it's like, be on the lookout for something positive. So now you out here, you fishing for it versus going to bed at night like, dang, did something positive happen to me today? Oh, it did. So it would make me like that. So this right here is just a book for you to have different thoughts every day. And I think that my job, as I told you before, is to provoke thought. So I provoke thought and make people think every day. So you would read one every day. But the cool thing about the book, real fast, is that I use music and I use songs to create ideas. I got one in here called just to give you an example, it's called Family Feud by Jay-Z and Beyonce. I'm gonna read it to you real fast if that's okay.
Nobody wins when the family feuds.
Facts. So it says, the title is Family Feud by Jay-Z featuring Beyonce. It's easier when the bright lights are off. So it says, you ever watch Family Feud and you can answer all the questions so fast. The same question you answer with ease the contestants are struggling with. I scream at the television sometimes with the most obvious answer. The reason you can answer it so freely is because you're not under the bright lights and pressure. In life, it's so easy to tell someone when they should have done something or how they should have done something. Or how they should have reacted when you weren't under that pressure. It's easy for me to tell a sports player what they should have done when I'm on the couch. Being on the field is different than being off the field. Being in war is totally different than hearing about it. Be realistic when you are criticizing something or someone. When the bright lights are on, you are expected to perform. It's a different ball game. You can't say what you would have done because it can't be proven. I just use different stories. So that was like Family Feud, Steve Harvey, but I used Family Feud, Jay-Z as a double entendre to create the story. So I mean, I just use different things, and then the book actually comes with a playlist with all of the songs, um, so you can listen to the songs as you read the book. Um, I felt like it's one of the most creative things that I've ever experienced in my life, if I may say so myself. Right? I think I got another one that says "Call Me" by Tweet. It says there's always a reason when the phone rings. And in this one, I'm not gonna read it, but just paraphrase. It's basically like, it's a blessing if somebody's calling you for something. It's a blessing if somebody's calling you for information. If somebody wants to use you, You should be more worried when nobody calls your phone at all. Somebody's always calling your phone for something, whether it's to open the door, whether it's to say I'm on my way, whether it's to ask you how you're doing, whether it's to say, can I borrow $20? Somebody's always calling you for a reason. So be humble and be blessed at the thought that somebody wants to call you versus call somebody else.
Mm.
So that is what I try to get is that thought provoking thought. Like, you know what? That's good that somebody gets to call me because you still have the opportunity to say hell no.
Yeah, or
They,
not answer.
or not answer, but they call me for a reason. Embrace the reason.
Mm.
Yeah.